Ithaca College had a taste of a completely different culture last week. Professor Pablo Calvi translated.
Kuikicha sapara nianuka. Kuitiaja manari ushiwa.
I'm from Sapara nationality. My name is Manari Ushiwa.
Manari was here to discuss the conflict with his culture in the rainforest and modern-day development.
Cada gobernante nos ha dicho, quiero dar una carretera.
Every new government wants to build roads into their territory or start drilling for oil. And whenever we say no, they blame us. They consider us an opposition to the government immediately.
But as Manari explains, he's not in opposition of the government. He's in opposition of the multinational corporations who he believes are trying to take his resources.
So
when they accuse us of being opposed to development progress, we tell the governments that we don't want multinational corporations to own those resources. Those resources belong to our future generations.
The government claims they will help solve the problem of poverty in Manari society.
Y también lo que hemos dicho es que el gobierno nos ha dicho en esa selva hay pobreza.
We tell them that for us poverty does not exist, because in order for poverty to exist, there have to be different classes. There have to be a lower class, a middle class, and an upper class. And in our culture, that doesn't exist. There's no poverty.
Even as the Ecuadorian government threatens them, they have no fear.
Esas actividades estamos haciendo en frente de esa política de explotación petrolera en nuestro territorio.
The president has threatened them. He said he will put all the leaders in jail or eliminate them, but they are not afraid because they have the backing of the jungle and the spirits of the jungle.
Manari is not only worried about his culture, but others as well.
Entonces, si pasa eso, lo que nos va a afectar es vida de los compañeros quichuas que viven orillas del río Curaray.
So if they start drilling at the start of the rivers Conambo and Pindayacu, where our water supplies are coming from, the Sarayacu nation is going to be affected. Our nation is going to be affected. The Quichua from the banks of the Curaray River, all of these nations are going to be affected. There's not going to be water. Our animals are going to die.
The leaders of Manari's culture have even met with the president of Ecuador, and for a brief moment, it felt like a compromise was within sight.
Si nosotros tenemos un plan de vida donde las cosas que se necesitan en la selva.
And he said, if there's anything that we can contribute to your development and the development of your way of life, we will do that with 12% of all or our oil revenue. Think about it. So they went back and they had a discussion. They came back and they said, yes, we accept. All the oil fields that are open now, give us 12% of that, but we don't want any new oil drilling. And we can use that to foster our development. They are already open. So Correa said, well, I'm going to give you a positive answer, and he never responded. And so from that point on, they realized that there's something, that there's some power that Correa doesn't have and somebody else has that power.
Their belief in the spiritual world goes so deep that they even use it to help pick their leaders.
En mi nacionalidad, Zápara, tenemos la organización comunitaria.
We look at the world of the spiritual world and we see who's the strongest, who can represent it. Like in a practical fashion, they get together in a community and they converse and they talk and they choose, all of them, and they choose their leader. Everybody has to be in agreement with the decision. So it's no 51% or it's 100% agreement.
When asked what Manari's culture thinks of President Correa, he had this to say.
Analizando su física.
They have studied him and the way he reacts, and he's a very unstable person. also. So he, in the heat of the moment, he will order, and he says that the order is already written. If there's any type of aggression against any representative of the government, the military are ordered to shoot the protesters, right? So that is already a fact.
Minari says more money should be spent on finding alternative energy sources and not subsidizing the oil companies.
Eso también ya hemos dicho al gobierno, pero el gobierno no acepta eso.
We should encourage the governments to like stop subsidizing oil consumption or gas consumption, and start devoting more money and effort to develop alternative methods.
Reporting for WICB News, I'm Ben Tillum.